Hey everybody, Dan here. You'll have seen, obviously something's wrong with the podcast. It's now changed its name to Pod on the Tyne, rather than Grand Pitch Thought So, because we're going to be doing a lot less fan casts. So the kind of that joke title no longer really works. So we went with Pod on the Tyne, which is obviously a joke on Fog on the Tyne, because we're three Geordies from Newcastle who live near the River Tyne, etc, etc. Obviously, if you're from the UK, you'll kind of get that joke. If you're from the US, you won't care, and that's fair enough as well. So the big differences are going to be doing a lot less fan casts, but we're still going to be mainly talking about movies, video games, obviously, a little bit of TV, maybe some sport will come in, things in our lives might come into it, but in general, we're still going to be talking about the two big things, video games and movies. So in reality, nothing's really changed, just the name. It's still going to be us three, and so this week we're going to be doing a big wrap up of all the news that we missed whilst we were kind of off for like 6 weeks, and then next week's episode, because I don't think we're going to get to record this week as you hear it. So next week will be the second half of that episode, which is a Resident Evil 2 fan cast, to kind of go with the fact that obviously the remake has just come out just last Friday. So so we'll have that up fairly sharpish, and so please welcome to the new and improved show, I guess. Although it's improved, it's almost exactly the same. What's up, everybody, and welcome to the premiere episode, I guess, of Pod on the Tyne. I am your host, Dan Hewitt, and I am joined by Brett Amer.
Way aye.
Oh boy. And David Adamson.
Reed.
Oh boy. Really leaning into the whole Newcastle thing, I guess. Fair enough.
The whole time this is how we're going to talk.
Oh god, yeah. I can imagine all the listeners in America who'd be like, I can't understand anything they're saying, and now they're putting on thicker accents. That doesn't help.
The bloody hell he's got it about like.
I mean, English isn't even my first language in the first place yet. This Elvish they're talking.
Elvis?
You talking Elvis? So it's been what? Has it been 2 weeks since we last got together now? Yeah, 2 weeks.
2 weeks-ish.
Roughly.
So I'll start with the housekeeping as per usual. I have not done much.
Have you not?
I've still got
In 2 weeks.
I've still got the story mode of Spider-Man to finish. I've still got the story mode of FIFA to finish, and I haven't even started God of War. Hence why I haven't bought any games. Just so you know.
Alright, that's fair enough.
So I haven't bought anything because I don't see the point in buying anything new whilst I've still got like God of War to play.
100%.
If I had just FIFA and Spider-Man, I've got about it's about 90% I'm through, so I might only have a couple of hours left. So I might have then bought something, but the fact that I've got all of God of War to play, I might as well wait and see if I can get something.
You don't want your queue to be too big, mate, because
Well,
then you'll get stressed.
Tell us about it.
Also, you don't need to make excuses to us why I haven't bought games, mate. That's,
Well, why are you judging us then?
we don't mind. You're the only one coming out like badly because of it,
Oh yeah, my street cred's gone down. And then the only thing that I've been watching is thank you, the Punisher TV show. I watched that.
Oh, yeah.
I started watching The Sinner. Did you say you watched The Sinner?
I've seen the first season.
I watched the first series. It was alright. I think it's better than what's that stupid one on ITV with the Vera? Is it Vera?
Vera?
Can you
God!
compare
Are they
that?
similar in
It's
any
better
way?
than Vera. I think Bill Pullman's pretty good actually.
Yeah,
I haven't seen him in a lot. I think
he's the only recurring character from...
Yeah, he's in the second one as well.
That's a really lazy way to review things, by the way. You can compare anything to Vera favourably.
I think it's better than Vera.
Yeah, it's better than Vera.
I mean, you can literally say that about anything. I think it's better.
than
I was trying to
Northeast
think of
News.
I was trying to think of a police procedural.
That's where you went.
Well,
That's
Oh
the
my
first
God.
I am from the northeast after all.
I mean, the first one I would think of would have to be Touch of Frost. I think.
What? A show that hasn't been on in over 20 years?
Yeah, because it's the best one, I think. I can't think of any better.
To
I
be
bet-
compared to the Sinner.
I bet that gets rebooted soon.
Yeah, a Touch of Frost.
Someone young. Yeah. That's right, that's how a reboot works. Not with David Jason though, but I reckon young Touch of Frost.
You can't have a Touch of Frost without David Jason. He is Frost.
What if
There'd
it was
be
like
no
what if it was like
There'd
old
be
man
no
David
point,
Jason?
just make another detective. Make one up.
Yeah,
I'm not working at ITV, goddammit.
Clearly.
I'm just saying it's going to happen.
Detective Felch. That's
Detective
the name.
Felch. Isn't
It's
that?
not an ITV program.
That's, no, I don't think so.
Channel 4.
God damn.
That's the one.
Yeah, you ruined the conversation with your Felch.
Sorry, mate. It happens all the time. What can I say?
Well, go on then, because obviously you've got Felch written down. It's a top thing on your list, probably.
No, I mean, for games wise, I've obviously just continued with my Game Pass shenanigans, just looking to see what's on there.
I heard something about that. About the next gen of Xboxes that potentially they could be bringing out 2 versions.
What?
I
Game
don't,
Pass?
Do you hear this?
I don't know anything about that. I just know that someone made an announcement saying that the PS5 is a few years away, but people are working on games for it, and it's getting like built right now.
But specifically, the game they're making two different.
I don't know anything about
Game
the
Pass.
Xbox, but I know about the PS5.
Yeah, I don't know if it's just a rumor, but I heard it anyway. Like, and it's basically the idea that they'll bring out two consoles: a standard console at full price,
Yeah.
and then sort of like a streaming console at a lower price where you just get the Game Pass
Oh, right, okay.
for people who aren't so bothered about buying hard copies of things. Or
Which is
anything like
fine, but then what's the point in bringing out a new console and saying...
You can't buy your own. What game?
Yeah,
Well, I suppose
here's
that's-
all the old games that we were previously selling you on our last console? Or is there going to be new games that are just...
Well, I
online?
mean, at the minute the Game Pass has new games and stuff on. Like We Happy Few is the one I was about to mention there. It's the one I've downloaded this week,
We
and that only came out last year.
Oh, I think a lot of people were going on about how amazing that was going to be, and then I think it came out and they were like, it's fine.
It's all right.
It's first person...
That's
like,
our review as well.
Yeah, exactly.
it looked a bit like
better than
Bioshock
Vera.
Infinite.
Yeah, a little bit. It's that kind of.
It's like alternate reality... Is it like,
Yeah.
is it emotion? You're not allowed to be emotional or something? There's no emotions? Something like that?
No, it's actually everyone takes pills to make them happy, and it's basically without going too much into the story and stuff. Something really we lost World War II, and the Germans forced us to do things that we didn't want to do. Everyone's feeling guilty about it, so that the government gave everyone these pills to make them forget about what they did and to make everyone just happy all the time. And there's some people called downers who basically don't take their pills, and you've got to try and make everyone think that you're on your pills and you're not.
Are you a downer? Are you playing a downer?
The first thing that you do, but when it starts off, you're working in an office where it's your job to go through all the old news stories and stuff and censor them, to make sure everyone realizes that everyone's good all the time and nothing ever bad happens. And then
Wait,
you go
so-
to pick up
where's this? Are we in Germany? Or?
No, it's in England, but
But
everything's completely different. Everyone,
Right.
like because the Germans have won and because everyone's taking these pills and stuff like that. So basically, you work in this office and you're doing the censoring. You go to pick up a pill, and you get the choice. It says take a happy pill or throw it away. If you take it straight away, it says game over.
Does it?
And the game has to start again.
they did that in remember Path of Neo, the second or third
yeah.
Matrix game. At the very very start, it's the whole Morpheus thing, and you pick the pill. And if you pick the other pill, the game finishes
you
immediately.
wake up in bed and then
Yeah, I think it immediately ends.
It sounds quite good, that.
it's a really good
Story
I
line, isn't it?
bet,
Story.
I bet to get like an achievement or a trophy or whatever, you have to,
yes.
and then you have to start the game again. And,
Yeah, I actually,
I bet there's
because
a
I didn't
trophy
do
for
it
that.
in the full game, but I actually had the alpha version when it came out like 2 years ago or something, and I did it then, and even then you got an achievement even in the alpha version of it. But yeah, the story, the concept is really good, and even some of the missions and some of the dialogue and stuff's good as well. But it just feels a little bit repetitive. Once you've got that story over and done with, and you know what it is, it's like, oh well, we've done the hard bit now. You can just run about and get into like pretty boring stories now, basically. But it's kept my attention for the week.
Part of your Game Pass, mate, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
6 out of 10.
Yeah, say 6. Yeah, 6.
Are you happy with an out of 10, or would you prefer an out of 5?
I'm happy with a 10, yeah, gives you more room.
Or
doesn't
you
it?
don't do the spectrum of the colours, perhaps?
I mean, it would be a 3 if it was
10
out of
fresh.
5.
I mean, I give that an orange out of a purple.
Roughly an orange, roughly. But yeah, it was quite good.
Is that
Just a few like.
Oh,
Game Pass
actually,
things.
I'm really sorry about it. I watched Ghost Stories
Oh yeah,
that you said you fell asleep during.
yeah. I watched it again actually since then. To be honest.
I thought it was all right.
Yeah.
But I did sit. You seen?
Yes.
I knew. What was the guy's name? Colin, the guy at the very beginning. The guy who went
dude.
missing. The guy from the 70s who went missing,
Oh yeah.
Right.
and he meets him in the caravan.
Oh yeah.
I immediately was like,
Well, that's him.
"That's Martin Freeman."
Really?
Yeah,
I was like,
did as
You
well.
knew it was Martin
I
Freeman?
did,
yeah.
I thought there's some pretty
And
mental,
to be fair, if
prosthetics, but I did not know that
I
was
possibly
Martin
might
Freeman.
not have known it was Martin Freeman if I hadn't seen his picture on Netflix.
Yeah.
He's the picture on Netflix.
Right.
Like, him
So if you didn't know he was in the
Yeah.
film, but I that's the thing is that I also knew he was in the film.
well, I also knew it wasn't.
I knew he was in the film, but I didn't see it.
To be
I
honest,
did because I actually pointed it out to John. I was like, oh, that's
my
that's
first
Martin
thought
Freeman.
was
Maybe.
knowing that it was the guy, one of the guys behind League of Gentlemen. I thought, oh, this is just one of the League of Gentlemen like makeup jobs, and I was like, so it's definitely not this guy, but it's probably just.
Aye.
And then I was like, no, it must be a really bad makeup job to make him look. It looks like someone's been purposely made old. and then I was like, oh, it's Martin Freeman.
Yeah.
So I didn't see the whole twist.
Well, exactly. That's what I mean. You knew that, but
I knew
you're also
something was
thinking-
not right, and then I thought the 3 little stories, for what they were pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the Martin Freeman one was probably the best one because they hit the little bit on the hill when the guy was there and then he was there.
It was the scariest one when he's in the room with the woman.
Yeah,
that was the
woman
scariest
good.
part of the entire thing. Which
I
was
thought
good.
Paul Whitehouse was really good as well. Like, you don't expect like
He was
someone
good.
like that to actually like to act. I don't know about the whole hitting the devil with a car
Yeah,
and then being like, "Don't get out the car."
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not fully sure.
Yeah, I was trying to rack my brains out of what the middle story was.
Yeah,
when you were
yeah,
talking.
yeah.
I was like, I've
but
seen
but
this.
again though, I mean this because of we can talk about the twist. Surely we can, we're not.
Wait, it's based on a play that's been on for ages.
I
Right,
could
okay.
think it would take long.
It's all meant to be in his mind. None of this is meant to actually be linked together at all, apart from the fact that it's metaphors coming from his brain. So there's no reason why they couldn't do that.
I think I was really looking forward to it. Throughout of it, I was pretty underwhelmed, I think, from all 3 stories.
Mhm.
But the end, when it reveals that it is sort of in his mind and he's in this coma and it's all these different characters that are surrounding him in his little bed chamber thing.
Mhm.
And then if you look at that shot as it pulls out and all the different things, like a picture of the road with the forest.
Mhm.
I can't remember. There was a load of different things where it was like, well, that's clearly what's been influencing
Yeah.
in his mind and his guilt in his mind. I thought that was really nice and it was a really lovely.
And then
kind
obviously you
of
got Paul
end.
Whitehouse
I mean, not a
singing-
lovely end,
Yeah.
but like a good end, and you were like,
singing
well,
the song
it's-
that was on the radio and stuff.
Yeah.
like
And
that,
it keeps
yeah.
flashing back to the mirror, which was the window, because it just looked like an upside down window with a
Yes.
bird, and I was like, so what's that about?
Mm.
And then obviously at the very end, it's the last shot. That's obviously
Right.
what he's seeing.
And it was like, say, like Martin Freeman's character was the surgeon, and he kept going on his phone when he would come in to see
Yeah.
him, and that the character in the story did, and you're like, what? Why is he doing?
And he was
that?
like,
It
if you want to
good-
kill
it was
yourself,
good the
you
way
should-
they incorporated all those things.
He's like, if
When
you
it-
want to kill yourself, you should shoot yourself with a shotgun. That's the way to do it.
Aye.
And that's how his character
Yes,
kills.
exactly.
It was
That was good.
that was
at the
good.
end,
I did
thought.
like it, but I just think it's like when you see like the best horror film of the decade, and I'm like, not even close.
Yeah, that was
Not even close.
bit
It was
like-
good though, I think.
But it was
It was
again,
very original. Well, obviously it's not original, like you say, but
Well, it is because they wrote it and then they
yeah,
adapted it
exactly,
It
yeah.
themselves.
sounds like
Aye.
it would probably be better to see the show than
Yeah.
it would be to see,
I wonder, yeah.
because I was reading a bit about it and they were saying there's a lot more like people are like in the audience and stuff like that. There's a lot more.
Oh, really?
Not
It's like
not
right,
interactive, but
okay.
it's more like a. It's not just a usual theatre show. It's a bit more like movie, like what,
involved.
yeah, like what you get in the Disney parks where there's people running around and there's stuff going off all the
yeah.
time.
4D.
That's right.
4D theatre.
Well, I believe real life is 4D.
I think there's more than 4 dimensions in real life. Surely.
That's crazy talk. And actually also I just remembered because I watched Ghost Stories and then I watched Winchester straight after, and I was like, this is absolute dross.
I don't even know what it is.
It's Helen Mirren plays an old lady who moves to San Jose and
Helen Mirren plays an old lady. That's a stretch, isn't
that's a
it?
stretch, and she keeps building a house. It starts with like
Method, isn't it?
20 rooms and it ends up with like 210, and apparently these rooms collect ghosts, and she's like the heir to the Winchester rifle, and it's just it's exactly paint by numbers, just silence, 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 loud noise, silence, 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 loud noise, no atmosphere, no fun, just the most boring.
That's how I felt with like Paul Whitehouse's thing in Ghost Stories. It seemed like kind of just like that. It was just some weird.
Yeah,
But then at the end again, when you saw there was a doll in that yellow dress, there was a doll in the yellow dress on the chair next to him or something. So that's manifested in the ghost. And then I think in Martin Freeman's one, in his crib, there's a doll with that dress on. So it's
yeah.
that's all was all worth it. Like, you know.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of like, it's what you would call a horror comedy, wouldn't you?
Would you?
I mean, almost. I mean, there's some.
I don't know about laughing.
Yeah, I mean, saying that's not that funny, but it's almost in a way. Certain parts, it's like a light-hearted horror. It's quite a light horror, isn't it? It's not
Oh
like-
yeah, it's not. It's
Yeah,
not.
I
It's
guess
not.
so.
I mean, it's not like scary or terrifying.
Yeah,
but it's.
but it's. I
but
think
there's no
it's
other.
full of comedic actors as well. Is another thing.
True. Yeah.
It's It's
Yeah.
almost all comedic actors.
It is a horror by definition, but it is. It is
Well,
not
it's the
scary.
people who did League of Gentlemen, and they do that anyway, don't they? Do a bit of comedy, a bit of horror.
Well, I think it's enough of a comedy horror to segue into the next film that I watched.
Oh,
I was
It's-
gonna say, why don't you just tell you trying to set up a segue? You could have said that silently, and we could have helped you.
It would have been fine, you know. I feel like I explained it a bit too much now, you know. But it would have been smoother than this. Yeah, I watched What We Do in the Shadows.
Oh,
I'd seen it before, but it's just.
I haven't
it's
seen that. I
absolutely
really
hilarious.
want to see it.
So
Oh,
good.
it's so good.
it's just come on Amazon Prime.
Oh bollocks! Don't have it.
No,
I don't know.
it was on Netflix for years.
You can use my login if you want.
Do you have that?
It's so good. It's so good.
Aye,
It's
it's brilliant.
You have to invite us in. You can go in. No, you have to invite us.
It's one of the films that I don't often think about, but I've probably seen like 4 times.
Yeah.
It's
I've heard it's
you
hilarious.
can never not be in the mood for it, really. You know,
Yeah.
it's if it's there, you think, oh, I could watch that.
It is really good. I really like those two. I think they're really funny.
So what's the mountains of things you've been doing this week, then, Dave?
Yeah.
Wait, games wise, I suppose. Firstly, I finished God of War. It didn't take me that long. I absolutely blasted through it. And you asked us a question like last time we did it, saying, "Do you think it would be the game of the year?" Or
Yeah.
that? And I do prefer Red Dead,
Oh, nice.
even though God of War is phenomenal.
I do believe that a lot of places did say God of War. It was their game of the year.
Well, yeah, because there's obviously a few different Game of the Years.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And God of the War got at least 2 of them.
God
Yeah.
of the War.
God of the
God
War.
of the, did I say that?
Yeah.
Game
I
of the Year.
feel like maybe
It's-
Red Dead 2. I think people are sort of like some critics maybe don't want to give it game of the year
Because everyone expects
because
it.
everyone expects because everyone
Yeah, maybe.
in January you knew game of the year Red Dead 2.
So but they're a bunch of dickheads, basically. Oh, that's what everyone wants.
Oh,
we're not gonna
you
give them
sheep!
it. Fucking hipster.
It was quite nice to play that after Red Dead though, because Red Dead was so big. In that there is like side bits you can run off and do optionally if you
But
want.
it's still quite linear, is it?
Yeah, pretty much. And
Mhm.
I think
I think that's what I'm looking for after so much of Red Dead. To be
Yeah.
fair, I'm looking for something a bit. Spider-Man was a bit like that. There's all these side missions, but the only reason to do the side missions was to unlock costumes.
yeah.
If you don't want to do that, blast
Yeah,
on.
well, you get like very good armor if you do stuff like,
Mhm.
and you can change things around a lot. But it's one of those games where when you start, it's different to other God of Wars. It's quite difficult.
Mhm.
You know, the axe is quite hard to use, but as you level up and get more moves and get used to fighting, and it's sort of like on the Arkham games where it was difficult at first, but once it clicked with you felt like Batman.
Yeah.
And you felt great. Like that's almost what it feels like.
So it makes you feel like a god, is what you're saying.
Pretty much, yeah. And he's unbelievable, and his lad
Yeah.
Atreus, absolutely class.
I am really
Absolutely
looking forward to
brilliant,
playing it. I've just held off. Well, you know me, I've got to do things I can't
Yeah.
start and stop. I've
Yeah.
got to finish and then I'll move on.
mate. I think I did probably maybe too many side quests along
Mm.
the way, so I think I was a bit too powerful for the story line.
Mm-hmm.
So the last boss, I didn't know was the last boss. I just absolutely
Whap
rumbled
this
him.
to the side.
But spectacle-wise, the last boss and bosses in it, absolutely phenomenal. Like, it's absolutely brilliant game.
I cannot wait.
Yeah, I wanted to get that finished before a new game came out today. Anyway, but we'll talk about that in a bit.
Oh.
What could it
And
be?
I also bought. What else did I buy? This is how current I am, mate.
Oh, you are.
I
up
felt
to date.
bad like when we did the roundup of 2018. I was like, I haven't played that many games of 2018.
Yeah.
I thought,
You've already bossed
Time-
2019.
So you got to kick off 2019.
yeah, I've bought 2, and I've been to the cinema 3 times.
Oh my goodness!
Bloody hell.
I've been off work. January's a quiet month. But yesterday me and Jess bought. I know it's a port, but it's that Mario Bros. U.
Oh, yeah.
The one that's sort of side-scrolling, but it's 4-player. And I'm not very good at those kind of Mario games. I've never been very good at it, but Jess fancied playing it, and we thought, well, it's cooperative, it'd be brilliant. It's an absolute nightmare because you're running along the side scroll. There's nowhere else to go but forward, and you bounce off each other. So if you both
seems-
jump at
That
if you
seems
both
stupid.
jump at the same time, you hit each other. One goes down, one goes up. So one's in
What?
the lava every time. And my lad's like, there's no way of working as a team with her. She'll just do what the fuck she wants to do. And it was an absolute nightmare to the point where she wasn't talking to us because I'm like, what are you doing, man? And now she kept pinging us in the water all the time. I'm like, fucking
Well,
hell.
here's my question for you: Is it worth 50 quid? Because I can't. Because I've just
Well, I
got
got it
this,
for 42.
I've got myself. I've just bought a Switch.
Yeah.
That's another thing I didn't mention. I've just bought a Switch like the other day, and I got Mario Kart for it, and I was willing to pay 50 quid for Mario Kart. But
Wait, you got a Switch and nothing else?
Mario Kart?
No, but you had to pay separately for the Mario Kart.
Oh yeah.
So they don't do bundles for Switches, do they?
They do, but they didn't have any bundles left.
Well, motherfucker, just wait then. What are you doing?
That's alright.
I want to play Mario Kart right
It
now.
wasn't that-
The bundles are still more expensive. Like,
Exactly,
You
it
get
was-
a bundle,
it was
you
still-
can get it for like 20 quid.
I think I probably
Effectively.
end up paying about a tenner extra to get the game and the console separately.
His eyes have changed.
But anyway,
It's because he came around my house and we played 4-player Mario Kart and he was nowhere near his dad, so you had to go and buy himself a Switch.
so I can practice. So basically,
Can you
I was
upgrade the
willing to
cards so
pay
they're all the
50
same speed?
I just have to be a good driver.
I was willing to pay 50 quid
Richards.
for Mario Kart, but I'm thinking like pretty much any other game I can see on there, with the exception of maybe one or two, I wouldn't want to pay 50 quid for. Not all 50 quid. It's even like Super Mario Brothers U, which is not that different from the old Mario Brothers games.
Well, that's the thing with the Switch though. The games that are 50 quid are brilliant. They're their own ones. Like, get yourself Zelda, get yourself Mario Odyssey. They're
Yeah.
brilliant.
I'm planning to do both of those things. Yeah.
You know, Mario Party is really good. Smash is really good.
Yeah.
But then I'm using it for sort of like party stuff in terms of like those Nintendo things. But then the arcade's quite good on it, and they're a lot cheaper. So I download a lot of stuff on it and then buy the big ones for 50 quid. And that's
Right.
it is expensive, but
Fair enough.
they're almost
Fair
timeless, mate.
I'm just going to be really slowly buying these.
Well,
games,
there's
to be
not.
honest.
It's not like a PS4 and Xbox where there's constant releases for it either. So
Mm.
you know,
Yeah.
50 quid once in a while.
What about Wii Bowling? Is that one? That's the one.
No, because that's
another
a
thing
Wii
as
game.
well.
I don't know what a Wii is.
That's another thing as well, though, is that like because obviously I know, like you said, I didn't get a bundle, but when you bought the Wii console, you got Wii Sports and stuff with it. And this one, you didn't actually get anything at all. So if I didn't buy Mario Kart on the same day, then I wouldn't have had anything with it.
It's about when you like buy a PC and you're like, I have nothing.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you can buy a PlayStation with nothing with it, can't you?
Well, no, you can, but I just think they could have put something like the sports on because there is a Switch Sports, isn't there?
Well, normally whatever the hot ticket is, you usually get that as the like when Call of Duty came out and Red Dead came out, they were all like, get it with Red Dead, get it with FIFA. It seems kind of
But they
bizarre.
do that though. They do bundles, but
Well, there must have been-
different
well, you
shops do
see-
different bundles.
yeah.
I
Well,
don't
the
think
main
Nintendo
thing-
have their own bundle, but you can buy you can make a bundle on the Nintendo website and you can add like 2 games. And
So
you
what's
get
the
them
hot game at the minute on the Switch? Is it still just Mario Kart? Is it always Mario Kart?
I mean,
Or
there's Mario
Zelda.
Odyssey and
cheaper. Smash probably
Zelda.
Oh,
Smash
it's not.
Brothers.
That's
came out what November,
It's fairly
December,
new, isn't it?
something like that. Actually, it was December.
December, I think it
just
was,
before
yeah.
Christmas. I think.
Mhm.
Oh God, my legs.
Oh, me legs.
I'm getting
So I haven't really played that enough. That's Mario Brothers U.
Mm.
I was enjoying it until we hit a hard level and it was a nightmare.
Are you
I
going
think
to
it'll
try single player? do you think?
Yeah, I'd probably enjoy single player a lot more. But and then I've been to cinema 3 times.
Thrice?
So the favourite. Did I mention that last time? I might have been there since
The
favourite.
favourite.
the favourite.
No.
No, he didn't mention it.
Stan and Ollie
Oh, I really want to see that.
in Glass.
Nice.
Stan and Ollie was nice.
That was nice.
It was a nice film.
Nice.
Oh, I don't like the sound of that.
Nought happened,
Ah.
but it was a lovely little story about.
Well, what's the point in going to a film where nothing happens?
Basically, nought happened. Mate. Like, I don't know what to tell you, but I enjoyed it. I'd never watch it again.
Is it? Would you describe it as a film for your grandma?
100% would describe it like that.
So
Yeah.
it's a film with Steve Coogan in it for your grandma.
Yeah. And John C. Reilly.
Well, to be fair, that's sort of what it.
Both of them were brilliant, absolutely
But
brilliant.
that's what it looks like. It looks like it's the
Worst
worst.
showcase for how good we are at playing Lauren
The
Hardy.
worst that's going to happen is that one of them's going to be like, "You stole my act," or like, you stole a little bit of money from me, but
Yeah.
I'm still really your friend.
It's quite a sad story though, because like I grew up with my dad watching all them kind of old movies. And I don't know that much about them, but the way when the movie takes place is obviously right at the end of their career.
Mhm.
It's a little bit
And it's a
depressing,
little
apparently,
bit
right?
sad.
Yeah.
But it's you don't feel sorry for them, but you do tend kind of like love them and think that you don't want them to be like in the position that they are.
Mm.
But it's not like mega dramatic.
Mhm.
Not that much happens. It's basically a film where 2 friends have a little fallout and they make up again.
Two likable
Yeah.
people kind of in a bit of a shit
Pretty
time.
much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. But then it's nice at the end.
Yeah.
And this, because it's a true story, and they do those bits at the end where they tell you what happened after the movie.
Mhm.
Heartbreaking little quote. I won't tell you what it is. But my God, it's heartbreaking.
You've already spoiled the film by telling us that it's nice at the end, so
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what you expected, mate. What do you want?
that's the truth. I don't think that's too much to ask.
The favourite was I didn't even know who made it when I went to see it. Right, I just thought Olivia Colman's in it, Emma Stone's in it,
Rachel Weisz.
Rachel Weisz is in it. I thought they're great. It might be a costume drama. I don't know if I'm that into it, but I'll see what it's like.
Apparently, it's really funny.
Is it an outright comedy?
Yeah, I didn't know that though. I was expecting like Pride and Prejudice. In the first couple of lines, I was just like, did they just say that?
Oh, it's
No.
an actual full comedy as well. It's not just like
It's a dark
some
comedy.
comedy.
It's a dark comedy, but it's like very sort of like kind of innuendo and.
Is it like realistic of the time and stuff, or
in a sense? But I'd probably not the way they were talking.
right? Okay.
But the three lasses who are in it, my God, they're good. Like
Yeah.
Olivia Colman especially, she made us laugh me fucking head off. It was so
She's
good.
always been great, Olivia Colman.
She
though.
was-
It's a
she
good
has,
show, you
she
know.
has. She deserves all the plaudits she's getting for it because she was fantastic in it. I mean, they all were, but
Because I think all
I think the first sort of 2 acts are phenomenal,
Mhm.
and I couldn't look away. I was laughing at loads of things, like subtly things are funny, and you know shots are quite weird, but it looks really nice. Costumes are great, everything's good. And then the sort of final act, it was almost like they lost the way a little bit, and
Mhm.
it didn't really know how to end it. And I mean, maybe they did, but it didn't really fall as well as the rest of it, and it sort of stopped being funny and kind of went a bit.
Different
Not even
direction.
down a dark path. It just went down a bit of a
Different
It's
direction.
like-
It is,
just flop, a bit of a flop at the
Oh,
end. Like it didn't
flop.
really. But it's 100% worth watching just for them first 2 acts and how funny they are. Like absolutely brilliant.
I might have to try that. Like,
And then the last one was Glass, which I saw.
Now this is everything I've heard about Glass has pretty much been either the first half's great, the second half is trying to be too clever, or people have just went, it's M. Night Shyamalan being like, I can do a comic book movie, watch this.
I mean, the first point you made there about the first half's good and the second half is trying to be too clever. That's just M. Night Shyamalan's career in general, isn't
Yeah.
it? Really.
So effectively, they've said when he's good, he's for me. M. Night Shyamalan, when he's good, he's really good, and I don't think I've really seen a film where I'm like halfway through it goes bad. I think it's either very early on I'm like I don't like where this is going, I don't like any of this, or I'm like no, this is really good.
Yeah.
I mean, like The Happening, you're immediately like, oh no, something's off here.
Yeah, it was awful.
Yeah, that was
Lady
terrible from
in the
start to
Water,
finish.
you're immediately like, this is really boring.
I think-
Last Airbender, really terrible. But then like Sixth Sense, I'm in. Unbreakable, I'm in.
Yeah.
Split even like
Split.
the way Split starts is like, it immediately starts. Those 3 girls are great in it, and so like within that first 10 minutes, you're like, I'm totally in. But sometimes this is why I'm kind of. It seems surprising that he's like magnum opus has been considered. It's considered to be like half great and half bad.
Yeah.
Wait.
You tell us, friend.
Well,
2 seconds. Have you seen The Visit? Did you mention The Visit there?
Oh yeah, The Visit. The Visit's
Yeah.
good.
The Visit's good. It's weird though, isn't it?
It is weird, but it's good. It's
like
it's on the
certain
right
parts
side.
when she's crawling under the house and stuff. I thought was really
Yeah.
weird.
I
But
haven't seen that. Looks.
yeah,
I tried to watch it, but I couldn't get past the start.
I won't say any more than.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the start is the worst part. Like it really is because
I heard it's better.
it does the classic found footage thing where it spends way too long setting the people up. I don't care about the people. I just
It was when the little boy started like white boy rapping on the aeroplane.
you mean there's
What is
2
this?
kids
This
and
is
they're
awful.
going on a holiday to their grandma's. That's all I need to know.
Yeah, I don't think you realised the white kid rapping thing until right at the end, to be honest. So, I think you're all right.
Yeah.
I had it on rewind.
I do have a soft spot for Shyamalan though, because I'm a big fan of The Sixth Sense. But I think it did get to the point where it was trying too hard to have a twist, didn't it?
Absolutely, that's what The Village I think is the epitome of that.
Well, that either landed or didn't land with some people. I quite liked it.
The only one that doesn't have a twist, am I right in thinking, is After Earth? Is that the only one that doesn't have a twist?
Does he do After Earth?
He did
What, the
After
Will
Earth.
Smith one?
Will Smith story by credit.
I mean, could you say that?
God, I didn't know he did that.
Could you say that Split was really a twist? I suppose it kind of is actually.
It's a twist that shows its hand.
Yeah.
Do you think that whole period though, when he did like Last Airbender and this one that you're talking about, or sort of when he made those, when he tried too hard to do twisty things and his reputation went downhill and he just got whatever he could,
Well, this is what somewhat
without
like that.
having all
I
control
believe
of his scripts and that. I
yes, they
suppose.
put him in movie jail and they said you can come out if you play ball. And he was like,
Yeah.
all right, I'll play ball. And then they were like, oh no, you can't play ball at all. You must go back and do whatever the little crap things you were doing. Because when we give you money, you're uncontrollable.
Yeah.
We gave you this franchise, and all you had to do was do exactly. I mean, by God, you've got a TV show you could watch and just make them do what the TV show's doing.
I was
Are you still fucking up?
I was reading a lot about M. Night Shyamalan, and actually, I think it was last week, and just a lot of people had said about him after he brought The Sixth Sense out that he was going to be the next Spielberg, is what they said. And honestly, I thought that makes so much sense that they would say that to him, and for what had happened afterwards would happen, because just like he's went to his head and think, I'm a fucking genius, I'm going to do all these mad things, and everything's going to have a crazy twist. No one's ever going to see
I think you're
it.
assuming something about his character there, though, because I mean,
Oh,
you know, I like to watch.
I've read interviews though, man.
But you know,
Well,
I watch
yeah,
a lot
I mean-
of special features on everything that I buy, and I've seen loads of interviews with him. He seems like quite
I know.
genuine.
I think
lad.
he's a huge film nerd. I think he's
Yeah.
I think he's the same as J.J. Abrams.
He's just trying to.
I think
Except-
that as well. I think
except
his ego's
JJ
overgrown though.
Well, yes, this is the thing. JJ knows not to put himself in his films, whereas M. Night's always in his own films. And in Lady in the Water, he cast himself as, if I remember correctly, Christ. Like, I'm sure he cast himself as the new
It's
Messiah.
a little window into his ego there.
And the villain of Lady in the Water was a film critic. And I think that alone gives you an idea of what happened to him.
Mm.
And then he went away and was like, actually, maybe I was being a bit of a dick myself.
Reevaluate
That
yourself.
doesn't make
Okay.
sense when you put it like that.
That's what I think anyway. But I think I think he loves films. I think he's just like one of them people who just
and he's
loves
definitely
films.
got ability, hasn't he? He's very.
He's definitely
he's
has.
got a.
yeah.
He's got a
He
vision.
definitely has. But I
It
think
just doesn't always work.
Absolutely. And if someone went to me and went, "Oh, you're going to be the next Spielberg," I can imagine just turn into a complete dickhead immediately.
he just. I think he's best off just being like, we'll give you 30 million. We'll get you A-list stars. Don't worry about the money for them. But you've got to keep it small because when you go big, you go crazy.
Maybe I have a different opinion of him because when I see a film that I don't like of his, I don't watch it again, or I
Right.
don't buy it, and I don't watch the features on that, or the ones that I really like, or like his earlier ones, or. And I do watch a lot of things about his interviews like that where he did something that was good, and I'm like, oh, he is really good, but
Yeah.
I sort of pie off the things
Yeah,
that
yeah.
are shite.
No, I will not listen.
Yeah, maybe you know.
Not my M Night.
But in terms of Glass, I watched Unbreakable the day I went to the pictures to see Glass because I wanted to take Jess to see it, and she hadn't seen Unbreakable, but she really liked Split, and I thought, well, it wouldn't make any sense to
Yeah.
go and see Glass without seeing Unbreakable.
Very
So I
different films,
almost
aren't
forced her to watch it. But I thought for me, for my benefit, it was really nice to see it and then go see it straight away because Unbreakable was a solid film, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Good film.
I think what he's done with his script for Glass, even though it's not perfect, is quite clever and sort of sweet and endearing in a sense that he's incorporated the actual time from when Unbreakable came out in 2000 to when Split came out to when Glass came out. So he's incorporated the characters from Unbreakable, put them into Glass, but the whole actual time's gone. So his son comes back as the age he would be, and he's worked out bits of the script that are sort of quite clever the way he's linked the two movies and the three movies together. There is bits in Glass that towards the end, like you were saying, where it's almost a bit forced, a bit too many sort of flopping twists, turns at the end, and you're a bit like, fucking hell, alright, okay. I think the very end of it, the last bit, you like, is quite satisfying to me. Where I was like, all right, that you can. Maybe I'm a bit too forgiving, but I forgive like the little discrepancies here and there. But I think what you heard about it specifically is like, as it goes on, Samuel L. Jackson's character Elijah sort of almost clumsily sort of narrates the storyline as it's happening, in a sense of things are happening and he's linking it to a comic book in a sense, in a way that sort of, as a writer would go, this is what I'm doing, and instead of just letting it play out and let the audience get it, he's
no subtlety.
he's sort of like telling you what he's doing.
Yeah.
And it
You
was a
shouldn't
bit-
have to do that.
And it
Basically.
was a bit forced and a bit cringy. But there's sometimes in his movies he has got like cringy dialogue.
It sort of feels like they had a test screening, and
Yeah.
that test screening was like, these guys, for argument's sake, these Midwest hicks in America don't know what's going on here, M. Night. And he was like, well, I'll have Samuel L. Jackson just tell them, shall I?
Yeah,
And they were like,
quite
yes!
possibly.
Yes, you
Quite
should do
possibly.
that.
So Jackson's like,
It was
well, this bit is really clever.
It was 100% worth going to see just to see what happens next after Unbreakable, because that's Unbreakable is an origin, isn't it? To the point where
Oh, yeah.
it's an origin, and then you don't see anything about him in this superhero sort of role.
Yeah.
So for you to jump in 18 years later,
Aye.
18 years later to see where it's gone is really nice. to be honest.
18 years later, bloody hell.
Yeah.
I do want to see it.
And then
But-
James McAvoy doing
Yeah.
that character again
Is
is
it,
just you can watch it all day long.
Is it Patricia and what's the other one called?
The kid.
The kid. I'm not supposed to be out. But the other
Yeah,
one,
it's kind of funny. That it's called
Etc.
Hedwig. He's called
yeah, Hedwig.
Hedwig,
There's
yeah.
Hedwig, Patricia, and the one who's like, I like
Dennis.
Dennis.
Yeah.
Dennis likes girls to dance naked.
I have heard that James McAvoy is undoubtedly the best thing about it.
Yeah, it's he gets a lot of screen time.
Mm.
It's almost like to be honest, Bruce Willis is brilliant. Sam Jackson's brilliant, and I'm hit and miss with him. I only tend to like him if he does Tarantino things.
Yeah.
I think he can overdo a lot, but he's very good in it, and James McAvoy's very good in it. But I think James McAvoy sort of steals the show and gets an unfair amount of screen time.
Right,
Poor,
okay.
poor
But he
Bruce
is-
doesn't get enough.
He is
really.
playing 4 characters. So
But there is sort of like I don't know the what's the actress called who plays the Doctor?
what's her name?
Paulson.
Sarah Paulson.
Oh, Sarah Paulson.
I have to go through Fight Club and go. His name was Robert Paulson. And then get to Sarah Paulson that way. Her
What's her name? Robert
character
Paulson.
was
Isn't it?
quite irritating, and she sort of like did a lot of the bits where she's over explaining the story
Mhm.
to you at times. But it's worth watching. Very worth watching.
Nice one.
Yeah.
I feel like I clumsily went through what I thought about that film there.
No, that's right.
I thought that was quite articulate, mate.
It was just as good as Mark Kermode. Right, well that's that then. Shall we get into some new? Oh, hang on. Have you got something else?
No, I was going to
Sure, your hands went up. I was like, Sir, I have
Oh,
more.
no, I was literally going to say,
Point.
I'm really looking forward to the news because I'm just feeling a bit out of the loop at the minute. I'm
Well,
feeling
let's-
deprived of news.
Well,
So
let's get in the loop then, shall we?
let's do this.
Actually, did you hear about today's the day that the Sundance show, the Michael Jackson documentary, which apparently has evidence of what he was actually up to?
Right. I mean, there's been loads and loads of evidence come out since, but it
just
always...
started recording then, and that's it's totally out of context. It is.
Not really, it's kind of news.
It's news,
Kind of
isn't it?
newsy. No, but like, honestly, like probably every couple of months some new evidence comes out, and then people are like shocked for a bit, and then they forget about it immediately.
Well,
There's been loads
yeah.
of them. There was the hotel that said that he stayed in a hotel with a kid, and then the next day they went in the hotel room and there was shit all over the walls, and everyone forgets about that.
Not Brett Emer.
Not me.
He remembers.
Not me, Sonny Jim. I remember the shit on the walls.
I worked in that hotel.
I had to fucking clean that shit.
Right. Okay. So the news, guys. Prepare yourselves.
I'm more than prepared after that Michael Jackson little bit there.
I've got 29 news stories.
Bloody
Are you
hell.
joking?
So this is
29.
this is everything from the beginning of the year till now.
So are we going to just go through them and not discuss them because...
Well, some of them aren't worthy of discussion, to be fair.
Right, okay.
So the first one is Mortal Kombat movie,
Right.
but it's animated.
Oh,
Alright.
what kind of animated?
They haven't said anything.
Why not?
But the people they've announced who are in it are like the people who currently voice the characters in the games and stuff like that. So I don't know if it'll be CGI or like. I would guess it would be some sort of CGI. But that's
Cartoon would be nice, wouldn't
that's happening. Like the old cartoon that used to be on like
Ah, yeah.
Fox Kids.
it? Yeah.
That was the one.
Was there an old Mortal Kombat cartoon on Fox Kids? Or do you mean that style? Like
You know there was a Mortal Kombat cartoon?
was it?
Yeah.
What the hell's Fox Kids?
You don't remember Fox Kids?
No.
Oh
I think
man.
X-Men and that on it.
Yeah, X-Men was on it, but they
Spider-Man.
had
I
a,
switched Cartoon Network and
they had a
Nickelodeon.
Mortal Kombat. They had Mortal Kombat at one point.
Just keep on going down the 7 channels, mate. And you mean?
They had a
You made it.
Too lazy. for that.
RoboCop had a cartoon and everything.
RoboCop.
Really?
At one point, yeah,
I think I
yeah.
only watched X-Men and Spider-Man.
I did have like a VHS when I was a kid of a Mortal Kombat cartoon,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it was like I don't think it was like a series. I think it was like an every so often thing.
Yeah. I remember my grandma used to tape it on for us, and then I would watch it.
That would have been great actually. I remember really enjoying it.
It wasn't very gory. Boys.
Wasn't very cool.
It wasn't very gory. I know we talked about this a while ago, but it's definitely happening. Just Dance the movie. It's
oh my
happening.
God, man.
Move on. Christ's sake.
Now, I meant to put these in
Actually
both.
moving on.
What more is to be said? You know?
There is nothing else to be said apart from disgusting.
Well, to be honest, when I was doing all of these news stories, I was like, I kept going back to what you said on the last when we talked about the films, when you were like everything's a reboot.
Yeah, there's nothing
Everything's
original
just.
anymore. And the only things that are original are things about Just Dance and
Yeah.
bloody.
Well, the last I heard it was going to be
Emojis.
it was Mad Max but with dancing. That was the last I heard.
What?
It was going to
Oh,
be
does that
set.
make
It's going to be
sense?
set in a world where you had to dance so you didn't get like money, and then you had to use money to buy the oil and stuff.
It's really, really grim
Mental.
for such a light-hearted game.
Absolutely mental, but that's what they want to.
How can they even say it's based on it? It's insane. There's dancing in it. There's dancing in it.
There's dancing in most films, to be fair, at some point.
Well, this is Ubisoft.
Unbelievable.
Ubisoft are making like 5 movies based on games, and one of them is Just Dance.
Well, they can fuck off.
All right,
Eat a dick.
dear Ubisoft. So I meant to do these by film and by game, but I forgot to. So I will be hopping all over the place. But this is one that you might be annoyed by. So they were doing a big open world Star Wars game, sort of like an action RPG set in the Star Wars universe, where you play a smuggler going around, and there'd be like a story mode, but then loads of side missions, and you go from planet to planet doing whatever you want. And that has been, after years of being in like progress, has been scrapped.
Is this EA?
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard this.
So they've scrapped it, and the official word is that something smaller will be coming out, and that idea that they were originally working on will be moved onto the PS5.
Smaller. Why would you say this? Oh, we're just going to bring out something small.
So
The
and so
original
on.
idea they were working on, they moved to the PS5.
Yeah. So this game that they're working on, they've obviously went. I'm going to presume that they probably went. How long is it going to take to get this out? Or 2 more years. Well, by that time, the next one will be PS5 will be
Right.
out, and will be old news, and no one's going to buy this. So you usually need to stop what you're doing, release something at the end of this year or next year, and start working on something else.
I must say I was a lot more annoyed by the Just Dance movie than that, if I'm honest.
Same.
I don't know, like,
I didn't get that
but
preparation.
Star Wars is such. It's got so much potential for computer games, and they just seem to constantly get it wrong
They do.
all the time. I remember the ones on the PS1, which were like RPGs, and they were amazing. But they were also really terrible because like you could just walk up to Jar Jar Binks and cut him in half, and the game wasn't smart enough to know to end. But then it couldn't continue because Jar Jar was dead. I remember being like, "Well, what am I supposed to do now?" But this is
Start again.
But this was before the internet, so you couldn't ask anyone. You just had to be like, "Have you got this game? Have you played it?"
Or you have to buy one of the like monthly magazines and check
Yeah.
to see if there's something.
I had to
there
write
about
in and be like, "Can you help me, please?"
The good old days.
Yeah, I kind of.
About cheat books.
I do kind of prefer those days.
Do you remember the Explorer? Or the Exploder, sorry.
Exploder.
Yeah, you put it in the back of your
In the back.
PlayStation. It was cheats,
Nah.
like
Oh,
ready
yeah?
loaded cheats on your Explorer.
way.
Yeah, yeah. Equalizer was another one. I think I had the Equalizer actually.
They've announced a Breaking Bad mobile game.
I thought you were going to say a movie, which I knew about. I didn't realise what the
Mobile game. Again, like, is there anything they want to do for money? Do you know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
just like
this is that's not good news. That one.
I heard of a mobile game that sounds really good. And I'm really interested in mobile games. Have you got it on your list?
I might do. When I get to it, you can tell me if it's that, and if not, you can.
Okay.
The
Put it in the bank.
Patient.
another thing that's totally won't be interested in whatsoever. But the guy who was doing Minecraft, the movie, was the guy who did It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Right.
He left. Someone else has come in called Peter Sellette, and it's moving forward, and that'll be coming out possibly as soon as next year.
So the Minecraft film that sounded terrible has just got worse.
Well, I don't know anything about Minecraft other than how it looks, and I know it's about building things, but other than I know that there is a story mode. and
Is
stuff
there?
like that.
I think I played it
There
before
is a
they
story,
released all that
Yeah.
kind of
But
stuff.
the synopsis is a teenage girl and her unlikely group of adventurers who, after the malevolent Ender Dragon sets out on a path of destruction, must save their beautiful blocky overworld. I have no that doesn't even read like proper English, so
Well, I don't know if
I
you've
don't know
seen
what that
this, but like speaking of like Minecraft, I don't know if it's going to be similar to this, but it was Netflix, and it was probably about 3 months ago. Minecraft had released basically what Black Mirror did with that choice thing months before Black Mirror did. So I think it's Minecraft something story edition,
Mhm.
and it's on Netflix. It might be even called Netflix edition. It was the same thing. You chose the options, and it went through, but it was like about what you were going to build next and blah blah blah. So I don't know if it's like,
But it wasn't a game.
No, it was just an interactive film, just in the same way Black
Okay.
Mirror was. Well, yeah, you would choose to either jump off something or choose to build this, or
Mhm.
you know, like choose what to say in the same way that as you would in.
It's a
in
choice
in
between
Black
jumping
Mirror.
off something and building something.
Two different choices, two different instances.
I would like a third choice. Turn my computer off.
That's always a choice, mate. You've always got that choice. Don't let anyone tell you haven't.
Adam McKay, the director of Anchorman and what did he do? The Big Short and now Vice.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He's been linked to doing either the Silver Surfer movie or Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Really?
Wow. Guardians of the Galaxy 3, I think he's a good choice if they're not going to get the old guy back.
Well, yeah, because he's off doing Suicide Squad now.
Yeah.
Next one, number 7. This might be what you were talking about, Dave. Alien Blackout.
Yes, mate. It looks really good.
Yeah.
Absolutely
So
classic.
this comes out. Is it the end of this month?
I don't know. I've got a little reminder on me.
It's
The
fairly,
Play
it's
Store.
fairly soon. So they were doing a big push just before. I think it was just before Christmas and just after, saying that Amanda Ripley's story isn't over.
Yeah.
Follow it in. I'm sure it said film, game, and text or something like that. And so people were like, "Oh, they're going to be writing. Maybe they're going to be doing Alien books, an Alien
Mhm.
film, and an Alien game."
I don't know how she links to the phone thing. I think she might play as her, but the way it works is you're effectively in a control room on a ship,
Mm-hmm.
and you using cameras to look at crew who are on the ship, and there's an alien on there as well, and you've got to sort of keep the people alive just using the controls in front of you in the control room. So by opening and closing doors, solving
Mhm.
puzzles, do different things, and trying to guide them away from the xenomorph and then keep them alive for as long as you can.
That's a pretty good concept for a
for
mobile,
a mobile game,
because,
yeah, I
like,
thought so.
because obviously, you know, when you get a lot of like mobile games, say if it's a 3D or a first-person shooter,
Yeah.
sometimes the controls can
Yeah,
be
it's
terrible.
awful.
So
yeah.
changing it up like that, I think, is great.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
That's why I've never been excited for a phone game until now.
And the overwhelming response to that announcement was derision. People were like, "This is crap."
Really?
It's like, you gave away Alien Isolation. You're not giving away a second one. They announced.
What is that? All they're doing? They're not doing anything else.
Well, they said it was going to be. I'm sure they said it was going to be text, film, and games. They haven't announced any books. They've announced a comic book.
Right.
They haven't announced any films. And someone asked Fox, and they were like, "We're not planning to make any Alien games unless Disney Alien films, unless Disney are when they get this. But we're not making anything because what's the point? We're going to be out of a job by the end of the year." And then someone asked the people who produced Alien Isolation, and they went, "We haven't done a single
To be honest, though,
second."
Alien Isolation was brilliant. But what would you want from a sequel?
Well, the problem.
I mean, if it's not the same again, it's going to be something. Going to be
Well-
more action or something.
well,
It's
I
not gonna
couldn't.
be as
I
good,
couldn't
but-
tell you what these people want, but somebody somewhere is promoting this, saying, "Hey, there's a film coming out. Hey, there's a new game coming out."
It's not actually happening.
And all the people who are involved in the games and the films are like, "Well, we're not working on it, so who is?"
That's really
Which is
bizarre.
super weird.
Yeah.
So all they've announced is a comic book, which I think might be getting produced by Marvel, and then this mobile game. So this
Surely somebody can try and track down this source.
so this film that's coming out could very well just be like a 30-minute thing that they just put online. It could be anything. It might,
I'll
not,
just
it might be
watch-
CGI.
I'll just watch Alien and Aliens again anyway. I'm not going to watch anything.
Well, I think it's
Covenant was a lot of bollocks. I don't,
well. There's going to be
Careful what you wish for sometimes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
absolutely. I wouldn't want any more films to come out like.
Well, Covenant's obviously done because obviously Disney aren't going to give them money for another one. So it's as far as I'm concerned, it seems to be fully dead. But I think people are annoyed because they effectively Fox were telling them to get excited for it,
Right.
and then they announced a mobile game and a comic book. So
Yeah.
people were like, "Well,
I
this."
think it sounds like a really good premise for a mobile game.
Maybe, but it's still a mobile game, and it's still not. It's going to be on such a
think-
scale.
Also, don't forget people got burned by that other one that was it Colonial Marines. People
Yeah.
like really were angry about that. And then they gave them Isolation, and that was better. And then they went, "Okay, sorry about Covenant and Prometheus, but maybe this will make you feel better." A comic book, not starring Ellen Ripley. Number 8, guys. Margot Robbie is Barbie.
Yes, I've read about that. Yeah.
So it was supposed to be Amy Schumer, and now it's Margot Robbie.
I'm really surprised that they're making a Barbie film. Like, surely that goes against everything 2019 is.
Well, I think it's fair to say that it's not going to be what we all assume it's going to be.
No,
It's obviously
sure.
going to be something about empowering women and all this stuff. Ken's obviously going to be a buffoon.
He is, to be honest, really.
Star Trek 4 has been shelved, not cancelled, shelved, after they announced Chris Hemsworth would return, and it would be another story about time travel. But then, during negotiations, they didn't want to pay Chris Hemsworth or Chris Pine the amount they asked for, so they both walked away. So they were like, now we either make Star Trek 4 with just Spock, or we don't make one. And then apparently, as well, they've reached out, and Tarantino is started writing a Star Trek film.
Really?
Shut up, man.
What?
And they've said, you can do whatever you want, write whatever Star Trek film.
What? So he's
you
gonna
want
do probably the biggest film of his career, like the most sort of like waited for.
Well, he always said he would only do. Did he say he was 10? Wasn't it? He always said he was only going to do 10 or 12 or something like that. And
What, films
Films.
in general?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He always said he was only going to do
Did
a
he?
certain amount, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood will be his 9th.
Right.
So if he said
Star
10,
Trek is going to be his last film.
which I don't think that's. I think he will be
can't
like.
say that.
Well, I wasn't expecting to get Star Trek because he also said
It's
he
not
would
his
do.
project, though, is it? Like,
But he also said, because before they did Casino Royale, he reached out to them and said, "Leave me alone. Let me do Bond set in the 60s my way, and I'll just give you a budget and tell you what actors I want." And they, for like a hot minute, really thought about
But he
it.
would nail it.
yeah, but
So I feel like,
it's not the direction they want to go with.
I don't want him to do it, but I bet he would nail it.
but I feel like he might just now start to go into like things of like, well, I've done kind of what I wanted to do. Maybe I'll just go and start remaking the things from my childhood that I liked, like James Bond, Star Trek,
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
and
Just
whatever.
adding to the problem of remakes and reboots,
Yeah.
basically.
And then people just be like, "That's how you do a reboot, guys."
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, yeah, I can imagine he's not gonna.
Hang on, are you telling me you don't want to see Samuel L. Jackson as the captain of the Enterprise?
I never said that. Don't misquote us. No, but I just. It would be good, but it's obviously not the direction that Bond would like. The what is it? The broccoli people.
It's Barbara Broccoli. Is it his daughter?
Yeah.
Is it Albert's daughter or something?
Something like that. It's not the direction they want to go in. Bond's always been present, and they don't want to change too much ever.
Yeah.
Like Casino Royale coming out was like a massive change. I think that's the most they're going to go with a change for Bond, isn't it? He's blonde.
Blast through some more of these. So, Black Widow movie definitely happening, but could be its first like R-rated or 15-rated film. You'll like this. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is getting rebooted again,
What?
but with the producers of A Quiet Place.
Hmm.
So, I don't think they're going to make it a horror. To be
Did you like
fair.
that? Did you like that, Dave?
Not at all.
I like
I like a quiet place.
but I don't think it's going to translate.
It
well,
wasn't the producers that drew us to it though.
I'm fairly sure it was.
I don't think that it's going to
That's
translate.
when you know. That's when you know you're in trouble. When your film trailer's like, so you see the film trailer, it's like from the producers of Jumanji, and you're like, so it doesn't have The Rock. Is what you're saying.
That's so. How? Why would they do Turtles again, man? Like,
It's
Not to
difficult.
like, not
It's
to
difficult because some people are like, I love Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and that was the wrong way to do it. So
Suppose
I'm
so.
going to step in and be like, this is how you do it. And sometimes that works. I mean, it always works better when someone who's involved in the project loves what they're doing.
Mm.
When someone's just like, how can I make money? That's when you get all the problems.
just wait a little bit though, man. Like, if it was a flop, wait at least 5 years.
Well, I think Spider-Man waited 5 years between release and the next one and the reboot coming out.
That seemed quite soon, actually.
But in reality, it's only probably like 3 years.
Yeah.
It's because it came out every year for like 10 years.
Spider-Man Far From Home, the trailer came out for that, announcing Jake Gyllenhaal was first seen as
He's not
that.
in New York, is he?
No, he's in London, Paris, and Venice, I think.
That made me sad. That. It
That's
did.
what I see here.
Well, Spider-Man belongs in New York, did he?
Just go to New York, Dave. That's how it is.
Martin Lawrence and Will Smith are back together in Bad Boys for Life.
Oh, I heard about this.
Now, this is Bad Boys 3, so I don't know why they didn't wait for Bad Boys for Life. But it's,
Bad Boys 3 Life.
that's right. that started filming, so that'll probably be out either the end of this year or early next
Is
year.
it Michael Bay again?
It is.
I'm out.
The director of 10 Cloverfield Lane will now direct the Uncharted movie
Oh.
after Sean Levy pulled out due to what was it?
Very, very messy.
Well, they always say scheduling conflicts, but it's like, but it wasn't an issue 2 days ago, but now it is. Which effectively means whatever.
He forgot he had a dentist appointment.
He's probably like Stranger Things is
Simple
going to get
stuff.
another series, and I want more money because he's an executive producer on that, so he has to work very little and gets paid a lot.
Mm.
And then Jumanji 3, Awkwafina, Danny DeVito, and Danny Glover have all joined Jumanji 3. So if you want to take your dad to go and see Jumanji 3, at least Danny Glover and Danny DeVito are in it now.
How
I
will they do that,
I
man?
would genuinely watch it just for Dan DeVito.
Well, same, yeah, but like, I think, well, the other reason I'm going to have to watch it is just because I'm like, how the hell are they going to do that? Like, I'm really just curious.
So are these
the last one was a
just
stretch.
Are they going to be the same sort of premise, but these are the 4 people this time?
Yeah, the
The
what
Rock's
I,
in it again.
what I
Oh, is
heard,
it?
yeah, it's the same 4 people are coming back.
And them as well.
Yeah,
You've got to find more people trapped in the game.
I feel like there's going to be
There's only 4 pieces on the board.
it's going to be 4 people going into a game because they said it was definitely going to be a game, but it wouldn't be a video game. It would be a different kind of game. My guess is the mobile game, and then I think those 3 will probably be characters inside.
Will it be
Yeah.
different kids playing those characters?
I haven't heard anything about the kids returning.
Because I can just imagine being, the part of the whole thing on the first one was
Well,
that,
yeah,
like
yeah.
the conflicting characters that there were, and to just do that again would be a bit weird.
Yeah, I think it's not. I don't think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be those 4 kids, but it will be another 4
Well, it
kids.
can't
Yeah.
be the 4 kids because they've got to discover how the game works. I mean,
Exactly.
Otherwise,
Otherwise, have we done this before?
Oh, right, we've done this one.
Mortal Kombat 11 got announced,
Yeah.
and we've they're all kind of, and then all of the big press release was it Tuesday?
Yeah, I wasn't excited, and then I saw a whole lot of stuff, and now I'm totally on board. I'm totally on board.
There's a lot more like the thing that I realized is there's a lot more like gushing blood everywhere. Like the X-ray.
Do you think so?
It doesn't
More
do,
than normal.
Well, it doesn't do X-ray as much. It just shows people getting stabbed in the chest and
is
the
that
blood
just, is
flowing.
that just
out.
randomly in combat? Because it didn't seem to be.
There's
There
a
seemed to be a
new
lot.
there's a new thing
If you
that
do like a big hit, does it do that?
I have not seen
no.
this, by the way.
When you get your
You
health
know?
when you get your health down to a certain level, you can press L1 and R1 and it gives you a fatal blow,
Oh yeah,
which knocks off like 30% of their health. So if you're both on 30% and you get fatal blow first, you win.
It's not fatal though, is it?
They've also
It just gets you to finish him.
introduced this sort of perfect block. You seen that, the perfect block?
I
You know when you press the block button, if you totally perfectly time it, which a lot of games do, but I don't know if a fighting game does. If you totally perfectly time your block on the hit, then it's a counter.
Mm.
Apparently, it looks absolutely wicked. Like.
That sounds like a completely different dynamic then.
Yeah, well, it's all the same, but you've got this additional bit. Like,
Yeah.
so for me, who holds block all the time, like
That is a massive change though, like because at the minute a lot of people don't even bother blocking or anything, do they? And then this is going to
Yeah, I
be.
think-
But you know if you're getting like if someone's unleashing a combo on you and you can
Mm.
if you perfectly time it, you can break that combo
Yeah.
mid thing.
That sounds good.
It'd be really good. But there's a character in it as well who apparently was in Mortal Kombat 9, but I think she was DLC.
With the blood.
The blood magic lass. She
Which
basically takes, because obviously it's a gory game, and she animates the blood into sort of like solid weapons. So she'll take
Right.
blood out of them and turn it into a spear and throw it at them, or little
Nice.
knives and dagger them in that.
Yeah.
That
She
sounds
looks
pretty good.
absolutely class. Like
John Wick 3 trailer is out. That comes out in May.
that's a film that I don't need to hear anything about, but I'd watch.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, I know everything about it really. It's just got to be the same as the first two.
well, the
More of that.
trailer doesn't only uses dialogue from John Wick 2. It's just I forget his name. It's Ian McShane's character just talking about like, well, £13 million for a hit. I think everyone's going to go after him. And all that stuff. He's banned from the Continental. You see, he's excommunicado. The Disney Plus has announced that it's there's Vision and Scarlet Witch, which you already knew. Hawkeye TV show, Bucky and Falcon TV show, a Lady Sif TV show, and possibly a War Machine TV show. And the Loki TV show is going to be about a young Loki, like young Sheldon. It's going to be a young Loki and Tom Hiddleston.
Sheldon.
Is it really going to be like young Sheldon though?
I don't know how young because Tom Hiddleston is just narrating.
Except he's in.
young Sheldon.
Well, it's called Young Loki. What
I know, but the difference is he's an Asgard, and
That's the only thing
he's a
that's similar
demigod.
about it.
Let me tell you right
The
now,
word young.
the word, The amount of money they're putting into this, do not be surprised if he's nowhere near Asgard.
No.
Watch them be like, oh, I'm going to send it's young Loki. He's 18 years old. He's going to go to Earth for the summer.
He'd never been to Earth before though.
But he's a frost giant, isn't he? A frost.
Well,
What are they
only as a
called? What are they
baby.
called?
Only as a baby.
What were they called again?
No, I think they were called frost giants.
Oh, they.
Yeah.
I thought that was the first time they went to Earth when Thor and Loki went to Earth in Thor.
It could very well be, but I can't see them spending like all that CGI money on like a film about a teenage Loki. Being with the only involvement Tom Hiddleston has is the narrator.
Was he taken as a baby in Asgard?
He was.
I was going to say I'd hope that you get the backstory and see getting taken over to Asgard, but
We've already had it. That's the weird thing. That's why it makes no sense. That's why it made perfect sense for it to be.
Is Loki a really popular character that justifies this?
people love it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's Tom Hiddleston, man. He's become a bit of a
he's
sex
good.
icon, isn't he?
Sex.
Sex icon, is that the word? Is that the phrase?
Hang on. The next one, story number 19.
19.
How many was there again?
29.
Okay.
Now this one doesn't make any sense, but it's interesting if it is true. Apparently, after people are so happy with how Detective Pikachu is turning out, and the early reviews are that it's really, really good. Like people are like
Brilliant.
there's been a couple of reviews come out and they're like, yeah, like the CGI isn't all like finished and stuff, but they're like it's really funny. Ryan Reynolds is really funny as Pikachu, and like the like stuff about like Psyduck apparently steals the whole movie and he's hilarious and all this stuff. So they've immediately went, well, we should do a Pokemon cinematic universe, shouldn't we? And they were like,
Fuck's sake.
well, what we're gonna do, where we're gonna get our inspiration from Pokemon, and they apparently have turned to Pokemon Red and Pokemon Blue,
Yeah.
and the idea would be to adapt both those films with separate characters, and then they would intertwine.
Trade the Pokemon that couldn't
That's
get
right,
any
trade.
shares.
Remember, you had to get the little connector between the two Game Boys.
Yeah.
Link cable, mate. Come on.
So
Oh, I'm
basically-
sorry, I'm not 300 years old.
I remember there was some kid selling Muse for 50 pence. Have I mentioned that?
That's
before?
right.
Yeah.
Now, if you thought that was
Entrepreneur.
bad, prepare for this.
Which we did.
Now, this one snuck by me. I don't know how it did, but so Ridley Scott for a long time was linked to a movie based on the board game Monopoly.
Wiggly Scott.
Ridley Scott. He's gone now. Don't worry about Ridley. He's gone. But now it's going to be Monopoly, starring Kevin Hart, directed by Tim Story, who did Fantastic Four films, and I think he did the Barbershop films.
Oh my god. Everything just gets worse every day, doesn't it? Really?
Again, I was like, we're going to the news, and I constantly thought about what you said last week.
Oh goodness me.
How can anyone think a film about a board game is a good idea?
Well,
man?
yeah, but one. How
Did you not enjoy Battleship?
Right.
Mental.
You get the worst source material ever, a board game, and then you think, how can I make this better? Oh, I'll get Kevin Hart into it.
He'll save it.
He is popular though, isn't he?
He is popular, but for all the wrong reasons.
Well, actually, I'm all turned around on this now.
Actually, I don't.
As we
Don't
speak,
get us
it
wrong,
makes sense.
I don't mind Kevin Hart that much. I think he's quite a funny guy. He's got good stand-up, but he's in some terrible films. So, and this isn't going to help that.
I liked him in Jumanji. It was alright.
Yeah.
I just liked Jumanji. I thought it was good.
The New Mutants, which was supposed to be, we spoke about this last week. It's supposed to be about a bunch of young mutants stuck in an insane asylum, and it was supposed to be like a horror film. And then they decided it wasn't scary enough, so they went and reshot it. Like 9 months of reshoots, which is like longer than it takes to do the regular shoot, to make it more scary. Apparently, it's no good still, so they're going to reshoot some more. And apparently, they might just dump it onto Hulu in America. I don't know who gets Hulu over here, probably Amazon or something. But apparently, they're just thinking about dumping it and being like, let's just cut our loss, sell this to someone, and get rid.
Sound.
So as there's only one more X-Men film supposed to come out, Dark Phoenix and New Mutants. So that might go straight onto VOD, which means that like proving that Disney can pretty much just do whatever they want with those X-Men characters because Fox have just cocked it up so much.
Have they already done this X-Men film then?
Oh, it was supposed to come out March of last year,
Oh, really?
and now it's supposed to come. Now it comes out, I think, October this year.
Because I was wondering, what I was going to say was, I wonder if like all the budget's going to drain from it and stuff, but they've already done it.
Oh yeah,
Then that's the
effectively
story.
they've filmed 2 films.
Yeah.
Characters have left actors have left them, but I can't come back and do these reshoots, so they've had to then reshoot that character's scenes with a new actor.
What the hell?
But in very surprising news,
The world's just in tatters, isn't it? Really?
well, this
Oh,
might bring
No
your
one's got
faith
any
back.
ideas.
Well, no one's got any ideas for sure, but this came out of absolutely nowhere. Ghostbusters 3, With-
Ghostbusters 3.
directed by
Oh, as in
Jason
part of the
Reitman,
original
Mhm.
run. Yeah.
and Ernie Hudson has confirmed everybody who's alive is coming back.
I was going to say I missed Ghostbusters 2. I think was
So
there a
it's
sleep?
going to be the people who are still alive, plus apparently it's 4 kids, 2 teenage boys and 2 teenage girls.
Right.
And they'll be the young Ghostbusters with teaming up with the old ones.
So we're going to have Bill Murray and stuff, are we?
If you Ernie Hudson says everyone's coming back.
All right, cool. And obviously you've got to believe Ernie Hudson.
He's never lied to me yet.
Got to put your trust in him.
Bumblebee is getting a sequel, and it'll be a 2-hander, Bumblebee and Optimus Prime together. Bumblebee made the least.
So basically Transformers.
just those two plus however many villains. Bumblebee made the least amount of money, only making 400 million,
Really?
but had a budget of 85, whereas the other ones had a budget of about 400 million and made billions.
Right. Okay.
So 6 of 2, half a dozen of the other.
I'm surprised because like when they were bringing Bumblebee out, it was meant to be like, oh, it's like a spin-off, and we're going to we're taking the most popular part of the Transformers and into like a new franchise. I thought it actually would have been the most successful one for a while.
No, I think it's fair to say that people are sick of seeing them.
I was sick of it from halfway through the first one.
How do I get out of here? The Gambit movie, who's lost like 4 or 5 different directors, apparently now Channing Tatum saying, to get this film made, I'm willing to direct it. I believe he directed the second Magic Mike. The first one was Steven Soderbergh. I think he did the
Is this
second
Magic
one.
Mike XL?
I think it's double XL.
Double XL. I thought that was the third one.
So apparently that's happening. Black Panther got nominated for an Oscar. First
yes.
comic book movie that's got nominated for an Oscar. Obviously it should have been The Dark Knight, but
Yeah.
I don't even think it was as good as Avengers, though.
Yeah, same here.
It came out the same year. Why didn't Avengers get?
They've made such a big deal about it, man. I don't know. I think it links to the Oscar, the hashtag Oscars so white thing. That was like 10 years ago.
oh boy.
I honestly think it's.
Yeah, quite possibly.
I'm not going to go too much into it.
Could
but
be,
I think that they're hitting two things here. It's the first ever comic book film, and it also happens to be. It's like it's a film made and starring like black people, but doesn't go too much into like racism and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's perfect for the Oscars, really.
I think it's
I
one of
just
those
think, as much as it is a good film, Avengers is so much more of an achievement that surely that should be recognised.
I hope so.
I think it's telling that it hasn't got best director, it hasn't got best screenplay, it hasn't got any acting nominations.
It's just best film.
But it's best film.
Well, I think it's literally just because the Oscars has had some really, really terrible press over the last probably 10 years, and that's exactly the kind of thing they would do to get people to watch. They don't usually watch the Oscars.
So we'll wait and see on that one. I don't think it's got a cat and hell's chance, but we'll see. RoboCop sequel.
Same guy.
Neil Blomkamp is rewriting a script from scratch for a RoboCop sequel that will.
Did he do the first remake?
No, that was
see.
God. It's like a Hispanic director, like Fredillo or something. I think he did that. Is it Elite Squad, the Brazilian film?
Not a clue, mate.
Never heard of it.
It's a good little film. It's sort of like Max Payne 3.
Nice.
But like like the police, like is it Cracho Preto, and it's like the illegal police who are just going around killing people.
Cool.
And then there's like one good cop.
So it's
Sounds
in like in favelas and stuff like that.
In the
Yeah.
favelas, it might not be him, but Elite Squad is good if you know. But apparently he wants to bring back Peter Weller. That's his only thing. He's doing a script from scratch. It's going to be a sequel, so this will be RoboCop 5 technically.
Which one was Peter Weller?
He is RoboCop.
RoboCop, right? Okay.
Oh, so it's not going to be RoboCop like the
No, the RoboCop. This will be RoboCop 4.
yeah.
There's 1, 2. There's only 3, isn't there?
And then there was the reboot.
It's a reboot. So this will be RoboCop 4.
So this one isn't going to have.
I think I've already seen the first one of the old ones.
Yeah. So Peter Weller will be old man
I've
RoboCop.
seen 2.
It's good.
Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn will be a trilogy. starring Margot Robbie. She will then leave this film and join a film called Gotham City Sirens.
Is that Harley Quinn film? Is that actually the actual name of the film?
That's the name of the film. Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of one Harley Quinn. She'll then join Gotham City Sirens.
Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus.
And then return for Birds of Prey versus Gotham City
To be
Sirens.
honest, I'm all on board Margot Robbie doing Harley Quinn because
she was
really good.
Mm-hmm.
It's a ridiculous title, but I'll watch it.
Might work, It might have a reason behind it.
That's also another R-rated film, so prepare for a 15 in this country.
Prepare for a 15.
The Batman news. No Ben Affleck. Out in 2021, if we're lucky, most likely 2022. The Penguin will be the main villain. He was supposed to be the villain in Birds of Prey, but Matt Reeves said, I wanted it to be the Penguin, and they said, okay, you have to go and rewrite Birds of Prey, because Penguin now needs to be in this film.
Right, so
There will be at least a few others, that's all I've been given, a few others, and the biggest rumour right now is that it'll be a young Batman, and the front runner is Jack O'Connell.
So are they abandoning what they've done with Justice League and
It's all gone. After the
completely abandoned?
After the success of Aquaman, apparently now their ideas are, we'll do standalone films only. We'll either do standalone films or sequels
So
to
basically,
successful standalone
They're
films.
trying to do their own version of the MCU and they failed, so they're
totally
going in a
failed
different
miserably.
direction.
Was
So-
Aquaman successful?
Was what, sorry?
Aquaman successful?
Made more than $1 billion.
No way.
Mhm.
Did you
Oh,
see
wow.
it?
No, never.
Did you see it?
I don't know anyone who's seen it.
No.
It came out at just like the worst time. Like, was it the week before Christmas?
Did it?
And it was just like.
But it's still made over $1 billion.
It's still in the cinema.
Oh, right.
But it's made more than $1 billion. And I think it's because it's got very few references to the rest of the universe, if you will. So they've just went, well, obviously this is what people want.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman had no references to the rest of the world because it was set in the past. So that when the two most successful films have no reference to the greater world.
Mhm.
Man of Steel didn't have any, really, because it was all about Superman becoming Superman. So I think people love it when we just focus on one character. So that's what they're going to do from now on,
Fair
apparently.
Fair enough, huh?
And then this only came out today, which starts out sounding great, and then it takes a massive asshole dive. Right
I like
at
it
the
when
very end.
you prepare our expectations like this. Like,
Yeah, I do.
Sometimes he's bang on, other times he's miles off.
Netflix are going to make a Resident Evil TV show.
mm.
It is being made by Constantin Films, who made the Mila Jovovich films, but are also in charge of the reboot, which is currently being written.
Why would you do it? You know that it didn't work the first time.
Well,
you know
hang
that
on,
people don't like
hang on
it.
to the pantaloons, because this is where it comes.
That's a problem.
Ah, there's a problem.
They intend to expand the universe
Time to expand.
and deepen the mythology
Right.
as they explore the inner workings of Umbrella Corporation and the new world order caused by the outbreak of the T-virus, which feels like they want to do post-apocalyptic.
Yeah.
It looks like they've got no intention of doing like a haunted house film, like a haunted house TV show with 10
Yeah.
episodes. It sounds like they want to be like, let's get 22 episodes, we'll get like TV level actors to be in it, and we're just going to do a post-apocalyptic film with zombies.
The inner
I'm not
workings
gonna-
of Umbrella. did you
Yes.
say? Oh,
That's
who cares?
that's what really annoyed me.
Who cares about that, man?
Because yet again, it's because they own all the rights, they're not answerable to anyone. If they think it's a good idea, all they've got to do is find someone willing to show it. And obviously Netflix are not going to say no to Resident Evil because it makes so much money. So they've just been let loose again to make what could be even more drivel. So yes, that was this morning. That came up this morning. I would have thought one of you would have spotted
Tempting. I've been busy all day, mate.
it. That looks like you haven't. The look on your face tells me that you haven't been busy all day. And that's the news. That's the news of the month.
Way!
We're all caught up. We're all caught up.
Well done, Dan.
Oh,
Well
I'm
done, mate.
absolutely wrecked. My arm is fucking killing me.
Is that a heavy phone, is it?
Yeah. Full of information. Right, let's get into today's topic then, shall we?
Why not?
You should do Resident Evil 2. You did it the last time.
Did you?
Oh, yeah, okay.
Do you
Um,
remember that when? Do you remember when the voice did it? It was like Resident Evil 2.
yeah. Okay.
Not like that, though.
Well, it's like that.
That was too. What I did was too scary.
And that's it for this episode. So yeah, it's a two-parter. So that's all the news of the month all caught up. And as I say, at the end of this week, we'll be visiting the second part, which is all about Resident Evil 2. So we'll see you then.